Trung Tây, vũ điệu mất đầu. Marco chương 6, câu 14 đến câu 29. Hoàng tử Philippe, một trong những người con trai của vua Herode, cưới Herodia làm vợ. Nhưng rất tiếc, Herodia ly dị chồng, sau cùng lại trở thành vợ của Antipa, em trai của hoàng tử Philippe. Trong văn hóa Do Thái, để đảm bảo gia sản dòng họ không thất thoát chạy sang tay người ngoại tộc, theo luật Do Thái, người em trai phải cưới chị dâu là vợ của anh trai đã qua đời, nhưng không có con trai nối dõi. Nét văn hóa Do Thái này được minh họa qua cuộc tranh luận nảy lửa giữa Đức Giêsu và thầy Sa Đốc với câu chuyện 7 người anh em trai cùng lấy một cô vợ. Tuy nhiên, dường như đám cưới hoàng gia giữa vua Herode Antipa và Herodia không rớt vào trong trường hợp này, bởi Philippe vẫn còn sống sau khi Herodia trở thành vợ chính thức của vua Antipa, em trai của hoàng tử Philippe. Doan tiền hô quyết liệt phản đối cuộc hôn nhân giữa vua Antipa và người chị dâu. Rất nhiều lần, ngôn sứ sa mạc công khai mở miệng lên án hoàng gia Herode Antipa. Hôm đó, sinh nhật vua Herode Antipa, trước mặt nhiều người vọng tộc và giới quyền quý, con gái của Herodia biểu diễn một vũ điệu đẹp quyến rũ mê hồn đến nỗi nhà vua trở nên ngớ ngẩn, đến nỗi mở miệng tuyên bố bất cứ điều gì cô muốn. Ngay cả một nửa vương quốc, nhà vua cũng sẽ trao tặng. Cô gái hỏi ý kiến của mẹ cô Herodia. Giây phút đen tối của ngôn sứ sa mạc kéo tới. Giây phút mơ ước cho hoàng hậu Herodia trở thành hiện thực. Herodia chỉ ngón tay về nhà ngục, nơi ngôn sứ sa mạc bị giam cầm. Ngay lập tức, lệnh tử hình được thi hành trong ngục. Chỉ trong thoáng chốc, đầu của ngôn sứ Gioan được đặt trên đĩa và mang tới để nhà vua trao cho con gái Herodia. Và cô gái mang đĩa đựng đầu người trao tặng mẹ mình. Suy niệm. Không dễ để lên tiếng về hành động sai lầm của những đấng bậc, những vị bề trên. Đơn giản lắm, bởi nhân gian thông thường ngại hoặc sợ hành động này có thể khiến họ mất đi một cơ hội thăng quan tiến chức. Hoặc ai biết đâu, hành động can đảm này có thể chấm hết một đời sống. Ngôn sứ sa mạc Gioan tiền hô thì không ngại, không sợ. Ngài đã từng lựa chọn không ngậm miệng, không yên lặng, nhưng lên tiếng.
The dance that decapitated John's head. Mark chapter 6, verses 14 through 29. King Herod heard about it, for his fame had become widespread, and people were saying, John the Baptist has been raised from the dead. That is why mighty powers are at work in him. Others were saying, he is Elijah. Still others, he is a prophet like any of the prophets. But when Herod learned of it, he said, it is John whom I beheaded. He has been raised up. Herod was the one who had John arrested and bound in prison on account of Herodias' wife, the wife of his brother Philip, whom he had married. John had said to Herod, it is not lawful for you to have your brother's wife. Herodias harbored a grudge against him and wanted to kill him, but was unable to do so. Herod feared John, knowing him to be a righteous and holy man, and kept him in custody. When he heard him speak, he was very much perplexed, yet he liked to listen to him. She had an opportunity one day when Herod on his birthday, gave a banquet for his courtiers, his military officers, and the leading men of Galilee. Herodias' own daughter came in and performed a dance that delighted Herod and his guests. The king said to the girl, "Ask of me whatever you wish, and I will grant it to you." He even swore many things to her. "I will grant you whatever you ask of me, even to half of my kingdom." She went out and said to her mother, "What shall I ask for?" She replied, "The head of John the Baptist." The girl hurried back to the king's presence and made her request. "I want you to give me at once on a platter the head of John the Baptist." The king was deeply distressed, but because of his oath and the guests, he did not wish to break his word to her. So he promptly dispatched an executioner with orders to bring his head. He went off and beheaded him in the prison. He brought in the head on a platter and gave it to the girl. The girl, in turn, gave it to her mother. When his disciples heard about it, they came and took his body and laid it in a tomb. A reflection by Father Nguyen, SVD. King Herod the Great, who attempted to slaughter the infant Jesus, was appointed king of Judea by the Romans in 37 BC. Prince Philip, one of his many sons, married Herodias, but unfortunately divorced Philip. For reasons unclear to the reader, even though the prince was alive, Herodias later became the wife of Antipas, a half-brother of Philip. Note that in Jewish culture, to ensure the property of the extended family remains intact, a brother is, by the Torah, obliged to marry the widow of his childless deceased brother, with the hope that this culturally marital union would produce a male heir to the deceased one. This Jewish cultural aspect is also illustrated through the confrontation between Jesus and the Sadducees, who came to Jesus for advice regarding the story of the 7 brothers who married the same woman. However, the marital bond between Antipas and Herodias did not seem to fit into this category, for Philip was alive at the moment his former wife, Herodias, became the wife of his brother, Antipas. John the Baptist opposed such a marital relationship. Quite often, the prophet of the desert publicly made heaps of strong critical statements about the sinful acts of the enthroned king, Antipas and Herodias. This courageous action eventually cost the prophet his own head through the dance of Salome, Herodias' daughter. One day, in front of the nobles and the elites who were invited to attend King Herod Antipas' birthday banquet, the girl danced so beautifully that the king, in the presence of his honored guests, naively swore an oath that whatever Salome would like to ask for, even to the half of his kingdom, the king would be delighted to grant her request. The girl pointed her finger at John, who was chained up in prison due to his fierce opposition to the royal marriage. The girl, in turn, presented the dish to her mother. What a dreadful moment for John the Baptist. At once, the execution took place in the prison. A short time later, John's head was placed on a dish and granted to Salome, who in turn presented the dish to her mother. Do we have the courage to confront our leaders regarding their misconduct, even if we are fully aware that our action will cost us something? For instance, opportunities, or even our own heads? Let us not forget that the prophet of the desert, John the Baptist, chose not to keep quiet.